JB here. June 12th, 2024. Have about 35 minutes to the close. Gonna be really quick here. Talk fast about the Fed. Powell just did his press conference, Fed statement. We had CPI this morning. Talk about some of the trades I made this morning and some updates there. But take a look at the SPY up another 1.1%. Well, we'll see. Right now it's 0.9%. Little pull, well, not a little pull from 544 down to 541. The Fed kept rates unchanged. Uh, I wouldn't say that it was dovish per se, but it's pretty much the status quo. Powell left the door open for more cuts, saying they're in a great position to adjust monetary policy as opposed to trying chasing it. So I guess you would construe it as bullish. We'll see what the market does. Probably tomorrow's open is going to be more important than what we do here today. But just crazy move to the upside. I thought 545 would hit 544.12 just a little bit ago, and then maybe we get some more chop here. So watching that. Was it 1.6% so far to the upside this week? And that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of the past 8 weeks, the S&P has closed to the upside if we close in the green this week. So pretty remarkable. Traditionally, this stretch of time frame between May and the fall is not good. So to see the markets do well probably bodes well for more upside. All right, so that's the SPY. Apple. So what else to say about Apple? There's trades that you make over, you can make 10, 15, 20 trades in a month or 30, 40, 50 over a couple months. And then all it takes is one trade to offset any of the bad trades. And Apple yesterday and today was that trade that could have not only offset some mistakes, but more than paid for future mistakes. Huge move. I got those 202.50s. It's not like uh, you know, uh, I liked the story with Apple, but it was kind of like they were left for dead. Everybody kind of wrote them off, and then they had their WWDC. Then you have analysts saying, "Oh, this is the next stage of growth," and then I guess it was like a snowball effect, and people started believing in that story, and the stock just went bonkers. So you saw yesterday, I think it was 192, 193, all the way up into the 200s. And then today, it wasn't like the stock was doing well in the pre-market. It was 205, 206, and all of a sudden, once the market opened, the bell rang, and then everybody piled in. My 202.50s at one point, so I got those at 26 cents. I think they were $16 at one point, right? So 1602 they hit. So you do the math. $260 into 16 grand in 2 days. 2,600 bucks into 160 grand. You can go on and so forth. Of course, you have to be in the trade to make the money. And I always talk about, and I think I've done these analogies before, but if you watch, one of my favorite shows is Seinfeld. So one of the hardest parts with trading options, it's easy part. Anybody can get into a position, say a stock's going to, XYZ is going to, this, 1, 2, 3, or XYZ is going down to 1, 2, 3. The hard part is the hold, right? So, when you're up 100% or 200%, it's very hard to hold that position for the bigger gains, especially when it's a small position, because then you can rationalize it, say, well, I only paid this much. Let me get out, make some money. So it's kind of the scenario with Apple. And I forget who asked me yesterday, and Apple's at 201, 202. I'm like, yeah, maybe it goes to 215. But at the same token, yesterday, I didn't think Apple would be over 200 bucks. So take that with a grain of salt. In hindsight, should have held my 212.50s. I got those at 30 cents. I locked some in yesterday, locked the rest in for some nice bags today. I guess I should, but I'm happy with the profits. All right, so that's Apple. I'm probably not going to trade it for a long time again, but certainly a great trade here. Hopefully the SPY holds. We're 540.76. All right. If it keeps going down, I'm probably going to get off audio. All right, so next trade. So Universal Display. It's a name I've traded over the years. Great story, right? So if you look at what happens, and I talked about the the refresh cycle with all these names with AI, and everybody talks about that as a buzzword and all these parts. But I think Universal Display is it's in that sweet spot with Samsung, with Apple, with all those companies that need great displays. And uh, funny because when I used to trade Universal Display, they actually have a factory in Wuhan in China. So that was kind of somewhat of the bear case. And I think one of those short folks came out with a bear piece on Universal Display. but I don't think right now, I don't think it matters. I think the entire that sector as a whole, anything that has something to do with Apple or phones or what have you, they're all just rallying. And you look at Universal Display, and I think it trades 215, 220, and I have to go back to see when it traded that high. I think it used to be a $280 stock. I could go back and look. Of course, I don't have it up here. Oh, 260. I think it was 260. So anyway, was able to lock some of my 210 strikes in for some nice profits. I added some 220s. I think it's a great, kind of like a FOMO story that people are going to look and say, "Wow, here's a great name that's going to play catch up." With wow, market's still going. Come on, find a bottom. So here's a name that's going to find some FOMO. People are going to say, "Wow, this is under the radar AI play with Apple." So that's why I got those calls. I'll continue to hold those. I posted in FinTwit, and I'm not even going to talk too much about it, but back in the day, I used to be a little nervous about posting my negative comments on names, right? So, of course, one of the big ones that I talked about was Nikola, and I have I used to post on Reddit, but more so my due diligence just to get it's almost like to vent, right? So you sometimes you don't want to talk to your significant other, you need to vent to someone else, right? Similar to stocks, like sometimes you just need to vent. So Nikola was one, and just to give a great well, not a backdrop, but when I posted this, I was almost like, do I even share this? Even though I was pretty confident that there was shenanigans going on, like there was red flags, like this is something's not right. So in lieu of posting it on the OM, I think I post on the OM community, but I post on Reddit, so it's there as a point of reference. And sure enough, I was the one of the first to post any negative stuff, and then everybody else kind of piled on board, and you can see what happened. And hey, maybe Nikola is going to be a company that transforms renewable energy, right? They have hydrogen trucks going everywhere across the globe. I think that would be great, but if they do it, they got to do it the right way. So I posted that on FinTwit because I miss those days. I'm not going to go into other avenues, but ENVX is going bonkers today because I think similar to OLED, and OLED's a Universal Display is an actual legitimate company, uh, but I think they're all kind of the whole basket's going up. But the moral of the story is, once I posted this, Nikola went up like another 100%, and you start doubting yourself, and you're like, oh, did I get it wrong? Same with Elfin. I think I posted my stuff when it was $30. I posted links on FinTwit. If you listen to my videos that I shared, I I talk about it. I'm like, this is not right. I post all these different due diligence pieces, the Secretary of State filings, all these this have to go into it another day, but all those things that I posted all came to fruition. So I'm not saying that I'm 100% right, or uh, you know that I'm naive enough to think that I'm I can't be wrong, but I just take that with a grain of salt. I have people message me on FinTwit about ENVX, and it's great. I'm wrong, right? The stock price is the scorecard, right? So if you're short a stock and it's $10, and you're long a stock and it's $10, and 3 weeks later it's $13, uh, the person who's long is right, regardless if the stocks, there's red flags, there's issues, that's just how it goes, right? Especially when you're trading options and you have a finite period of time for your calls or puts to come to fruition. So we'll see what happens. I'm not going to sit there and be stubborn and add any more, inexpensive puts or what have you. I don't think the story's changed. I just think there's uh, a lot of what the move is in ENVX is with Apple, right? And I mean, if you're Apple, why would you do? Why would you get a part from a company that doesn't have any, that has never produced a battery, and you need hundreds of millions of batteries, right? So, and rants for other days. So that's why I posted that. All right, so let's move on. Adobe, all the way, it was 471 about the noon hours. Since pulled back 461. It changed, just went into the red. Still like that one for upside. Uh, Gonna have to lock all those calls in before the close tomorrow. Was hoping it would go to 480, 490 and plus. Looked like it was going to do that. Not doing that right now, so I'll wait and see on that one. URI, it almost looked like there was some kind of news or catalyst out this morning. URI, it closed at, was it 627? Did it close at 627? It opened, it hit a low of 624, and then it was off to the races. 668 it hit. And if you look, the 50-day moving average is 669. Still love that story. Just unfortunately, it's back in the red. So it reversed all those gains. I think it was up 6%. I almost looked to close some of my 700 strikes in for over 100%. I passed. Probably in hindsight would be a good, would have been a good idea, but I'll continue to hold those. Uh, turn was looking great only about 15 minutes ago. It was in the green, 750. Now it's down here at 723. Still love that one for upside. I'm trying to think. I think that's about it. Well, I think the important thing is going to be tomorrow's market reaction. Where do we open? Is people going to dissect what Powell said, the statement, the dot plot, where markets at all-time highs. It's an opportunity for folks to like take advantage. So hopefully, we hope we open flat. Heck, I'll even take a small red open, and then a bounce 545 or so, and go from there. I think that's about it. 24 minutes to the close. Let's have a great day. I'll be back on the audio tomorrow. Rock and roll.